buy now, pay later does not report to the credit bureau, which is like amazing. Okay, let's be real, really amazing. Are you in the buy now, pay later cycle? That's a very real question. Friend, you are not alone.
This is my Afterpay, and I'm going to do a haul of all the things I've been buying. It's actually from last month.
Afterpay is getting out of hand. Once I pay off this little purchase, I am deleting the whole entire app.
Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, the Maria Fade on all social media platforms. And today, I'm going to be talking about something that I've been loving these topics recently. Lots of millennials and particularly Gen Z are now relying more than ever on using this buy now, pay later method. So buy now, pay later. We've all heard it. And if you don't know what it is, buy now, pay later is a type of loan. It's an installation loan. It's essentially like a credit card contract without having a big credit card in the middle of it. These companies are typically what is now known as fintech, which is financial tech companies. You literally divide your payments into equal installations, equal payments. Besides your debit, your credit card, your bank account, whatever it is that is the source that you're supposed to pay back this installment, pay back this money, is where they will go and take that installment and that money from. So you have a couple of financial funding institutions now, which is like PayPal, Klarna, Affirm. You have a couple of, and those are the ones that you see a lot on the websites that you typically shop at. Just keep stacking it up from every website that you shop on. You click a link, you put an installment down, and you keep it moving. And before you know it, everybody's asking for their money back. What happens then? Snowball. Buy now, pay later, BNPL, is a little bit different though. And that's why this is really very, very interesting. They don't report to your credit bureau. Because obviously, you pay with a credit card. The credit cards monitor your payments. They make sure that you're not being delinquent, meaning that you're not paying what you need to be paying back. And then credit card companies report that to the credit bureau saying this person's been delinquent. They're not paying their stuff. Look, and that's why credit card points go down. That's like the layman's explanation. There's like way more factors that go into it, but it's not just credit card use. There's credit score is a factor of a lot of things. The renter's history, this, that, and the other, but credit card is a big factor in the credit score. It shows how you can borrow money and pay it back. That's the whole concept. So buy now, pay later does not report to the credit bureau, which is like amazing. Okay, let's be real. Really amazing. They actually haven't provided any responses to the press either, because I was actually reading the CNBC article about this whole buy now, pay later system, because I was like, I have a lot of friends who use the buy now, pay later system on a lot of the websites they shop from. I personally have not used it myself because I'm just scared of getting into even bigger debt. But I do have quite a bit of friends who tell me they do it all the time. So I was like, okay, what is it? Like, if I'm going to use this system, I want to know about it, right? So CNBC actually reported that this fintech companies who are behind the faces of all of this buy now, pay later systems or apps, they do not respond to press or give any reports about their delinquencies, meaning that they do not pretty much tell on you. They're not telling anybody about the fact that you're not paying them back if you're not paying them back. According to the PR for some of these firms or for some of these companies, they do say that a lot of times people pay back their loans so they don't get into too much difficult situations with their customers. I mean, if it's connected to your bank account anyway, they're just going to go take that money. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine it's just like Netflix or something. They just, before you know it, the money's just gone. And I saw a meme about this a while back, actually. So that kind of tracks. Like,
hello?
Ho, the things that you've lied about. Even
what happened? And don't forget about late nights playing in the dark and wait.
What now? That's what now? That's what I say every time. I'm like, what do you want?
But yeah, a lot of these apps, or I should say really these companies, are actually holding firm in the fact that they're supporting the customers. They're saying that actually, no, our customers do pay us back. Whatever that means, they say that their customers pay back. So there's no need for them to report anything to the credit bureaus or any delinquencies at all. According to CNBC, a firm actually writes off delinquencies and unpaid loans within 120 days of the person not paying it back. Now, I don't know if this changes policy, but that's what CNBC reports. They're literally writing it off after, what is that, 4 months? 120 divided by 30 is 4, yeah. So it really got me thinking. I'll be real with you. It really got me thinking. After you go past a certain payment plan, the original 4 payment plans, the interest rates start to increase. Although we do know credit card interest rates in general are on the rise, so it's very competitive Truthfully, if you go past that 4, if you stay within the 4, you're good. You don't pay any interest back. You just pay what you owed. It's just a layaway plan. A layaway plan. We all knew about layaway plans. I mean, I was young, but I remember going to Kmart, or I remember Kmart commercials when I was very young that was talking about layaway plan. Put it on a layaway. I'll probably find an insert or something, because actually now it's just like ringing bells for me. I remember, was it a lady in heels running in snow or something? Was that a Kmart commercial or was that Target? There were so many layaway plans.
Brenda?
This is my TV.
Yeah, I think I saw your patio set and pool.
Once I have all the money, I'll pick them up.
You know, you could just use Kmart Layaway for nearly everything in the store or online any day of the year.
Well, you're very nice.
At Kmart, almost everything can be put on layaway 365 days a year.
I believe this was like 2008, 2010, which makes sense because at the time the recession was happening and the housing market had crashed. So it makes sense that layaway plans were a big thing, which is now, as I'm actually sitting here in front of you, making me connect some dots, because at that time, layaway plans and layaway commercials became big on TV.
Why pay for something you can't enjoy until you pay it off? There's a better way. Rent-A-Center. Take Samsung home today and enjoy it while you make small payments. Problem solved. Choose from Samsung TVs, gaming computers, smartphones.
Now we see that layaway plans, because again, we're like in a recession style times, are big again. So this buy now, pay later is very, very big, very, very popular with Gen Z especially, but definitely with millennials. Again, I just made that correlation, but it totally tracks. I mean, I would love to know what you think. Let me know, because obviously everything I say is up to discussion. But yeah, let me know if you make that connection. Like I said, they don't report to credit bureaus. That is the sweetest point in all of this that I actually didn't know about, and I learned on this journey myself. So the fact that they're not reporting, that is huge. Like that's huge. And I see the appeal. I totally see the appeal, and I see why Gen Z is doing it. I do not think, like a lot of people make it seem, that Gen Z is stupid. I do not think they are. I'm a millennial, and I just know that even as a millennial, the amount of work that we have to do now just surpasses the amount of work that someone 50 years had to do to be able to even get barely a fifth or a fourth of what they got back then, as in being able to have one income support your whole family and buy a home. That's just not a reality now. Like, hello, I am on my YouTube grind. I have a job. I am trying to, launch your products. I'm trying to do a bunch of things. And that's what Gen Z and millennials' future kind of looks like right now. And I totally get it. I totally understand why people would turn to the system, because it's smart. I feel like it's truly gonna disrupt. And I see a lot of the grumblings, especially when I was researching about this, a lot of the grumblings from credit bureaus and established banking system, and how they're upset, because clearly they're going to be upset that this is taken away from the old structure where people had a credit card system to report to. They don't really know how much debt people actually have. And I'm not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I think it could be both, to be truly honest with you, but it's almost like this little leeway where the government or the credit bureau isn't peeking into your finances, because they just don't know. It's not in their hands. It's with these companies. Now, again, there are pros and cons to this, because everything has pros and cons. So the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, they're the ones that do credit card reporting, things like that, right? That's what we're talking about. Now opened up investigations. Clearly, like I just said, it's going to ruffle some feathers, because it's literally the credit card financial system of America. Of course, they're going to not want to not have a look at what you're doing. They want to see everything. Hello? That's the IRS. They want to know everything. They know everything. So the fact that they don't know this is shocking, right? So I'm going to shorten a lot of these acronyms because they're too long. So the CFPB, yeah, Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CFPB, yeah. The CFPB, they opened up investigation into the lenders, right? They're okay, we're going to investigate these companies because we want to know what's happening. What's the catch? There has to be a catch. What are they doing? Because, But, many financial analysts, and just anyone with any type of common sense in general, it's not reported. You clearly know you're accumulating more debt. You do know you do owe money to somebody, and they are going to come get their money. It's not free. It's not free. And like I said, that was part of my worry. That's why I didn't want to get into another sort of debt. This whole concept where you technically have debt, but the credit card companies don't know about it, but these companies that you're lending from know about it, is technically a silent debt, right? Because you know you owe it, but like the US government technically doesn't know you owe it, but these companies also know you owe it. So like two people know, it's no longer a secret, you know? There's a whole song about it. You know you owe money, and another company that you owe money to know you owe money, and they're going to go into your bank account. You owe money, period. It's not being reported to the government, so you're not getting like any doc or marks or demerits on your credit score, which is great. But again, it's this phantom debt. It's kind of a workaround, but at the same time, you got to understand what you're getting to. It's debt. You still owe money to someone, right? It could be good for good debts. Like, you know that if you make a payment in 4 payments or less, which all of these systems have a payment plan of 4 or less, you have no interest rate. So you want to find the ones that have 0 to minimal interest rate. That's the only way this actually works without you accumulating crazy amount of debt, because the interest rate is what gets you. The interest rate is what gets you. You don't want to get the interest rate. That's why they say pay your credit card debt on time, so you don't occur interest rate. The interest rates add up quick. You're telling me that I can buy something on the website that I wanted to buy something in. I can make a payment plan just like I would, you know, make that payment for my credit card, but I gotta talk to like an accountant about this, because there could be a workaround that I'm kind of missing out on. That's what I'm thinking. Really, that's truly where my mind is. Buy now, pay later debt increased, obviously, over the holidays. Over Cyber Monday, it shot through the roof because everyone started to do a buy now, pay later system to buy stuff, you know, for family, friends, this and that. You know, it's smart. You know, if you see my video on debt, I've talked about debt and, you know, having a budget and all of this type of stuff. There's good debt and there's bad debt. We all know this. And if you don't know this, good debt are the types of debt that end up providing you with a net sum, I would say. Like, I would say even student loan debt, even though it's a lot of debt, it is supposed to be a net sum. You got smarter. You can get a better job, hopefully. You can rise in your career. All of these things, it adds to you as a professional. That is a net sum. So that would be a good debt. Even though any debt is not great, but it's a good debt. That's good and bad debt. Mortgage is a good debt because you are now building equity in a home over time. It's worth things, exponentially, all of that. Good debt, net sum. Money that goes into your business, that could be a good one too. Obviously, knowing that you research your business, all of that type of stuff. Net sum, it's supposed to get you to a better place. Those are the debts that are good debts. And then obviously there's the bad debts, right? You go shopping too much for clothes for no reason, gambling, silly things like that. You're eating out too much. That's a big one. That's a big one for me, and I'm sure for someone else out there. But those are the bad debts. Like, those are things that you don't really need. Those are non-essentials that you're just wasting money on. Bad debt. They don't add to your life, really. If anything, they are way more stress to your life. Bad debt, literally. So they're good and bad debt in general. A lot of my spending for this channel in general, when I think about it myself, consider good debt, because I guess it's an investment that I'm willing to make into my business. Because, like, am I slacking? Should I know more information? Is this something other people are using and I just don't know about it? Like I said, in my research to this is how I found out actually some of the benefits about this. But I want to clarify, okay, because this video is not sponsored by any buy now, pay later programs or anything like that. I literally am just wondering why there has been such a big boom in people using the system nowadays, just like there was in those, like I said, I could say like 2008, 2012 era, just like those layaway plans back then. But, you know, like we want to make like financially stable choices here. So I'm like, oh yay, let's go get this stuff. I'm just saying, like, wait a minute. I did not know that so many people were using this, racking it up like they were. But I also didn't know that they were not, because I heard the rumor. I heard the rumor that they were not recorded to credit unions, but I just felt like, to be honest, it was too good to be true. Like, what's the end game? I pay with credit card with most of my stuff. I don't even venture into the buy now, pay later systems because I just want to pay my other debt off. I want to be able to pay my debt off and be able to travel the world and just live in just live comfortable. I don't want to have to be like, oh, where's my next, payment for my credit card going to come from? Because I just don't even want to have to think about that stuff, right? That's the goal. I'm sure we all have that goal. That is what we all know as financial freedom. Just be able to wake up and not have to do much more than just live and still thrive. Like I mentioned earlier, for me, I pay with a credit card because I want to build my credit score. I want to have a good credit score so that I can have more of loaning power and things like that. If you watch my videos, you know that I've talked about how I used to have barely any kind of credit at all. I actually didn't have credit till I was like, 24 or something, and I have pretty good credit now. I just talked about a wedding. Okay, there's some monies that I do have to pay back. I do try to keep, obviously, on-time payments so that when they do the reportings, because this is with credit card, to the credit bureaus and all that type of stuff, I don't get docked points. I show that I have good payment history, all of that type of good stuff. That's the point. So me personally, like I said, I use credit card. I do it for those reasons and all those type of things to build a credit score, credit history, blah, blah, blah. These companies, these BNPL companies don't do that. So a history of on-time payments can help you. Let's be real. Like, we are in this credit card financial system that is the United States government, and this is how they monitor our credit and all this type of stuff. Yes, okay, a history of like on-time payment can help build your credit, can make you look more like a good choice when you want to borrow money for a home or a car or this, that, and the other. That's the point, right? Let's not be naive. It's not like, oh, you can just kind of like, I mean, I guess you could try to work around the system, but it depends on how you do it. With no interest rate, or find one with 0 to minimal interest rate, you are technically winning. I believe in seizing opportunity, yes, but I do also believe in watching your debt and actually trying to get it down and not accumulating more. But if you have to do shopping online and your credit wasn't great, and I see why this is the reason why people do it, yes, I see that. 100%, I see. Like, at the end of the day, there is something that they are gaining from this system. It's not like they're not making any money. They're making money. Like, companies run based on profit. So don't be naive and be like, oh yeah, they're just really like great companies and they help us out. Like, no, people are definitely going over that 4-period mark, and they're definitely paying interest and stuff, and they're still definitely paying them interest, and these companies are making money 100%. It's based off profit. The CFPB, like I said, they're running their investigations, and they have come back with some preliminary results, which says obviously there is lack of consumer protection because this isn't regulated by like the US government. Let's say you have to fight a claim, or you have to, there was something put on your account that's not true. What's your recourse to getting this done? Just their contract? Just the fact that you put them on blast? Maybe you call them? What are some of those things that you don't have consumer protection with? Because this is, again, you're borrowing with this company. Maybe you call them, maybe you email them, and if they have great customer service, sure, they respond to you. But if they don't, so they did find some preliminary issues with consumer protection. But the second thing that they found, which I don't think is actually that big of a deal, because let's be real, in this day and age, everything is like there might be potential data harvesting. Are we surprised? Are we surprised in 2024 that they're data harvesting? No. Okay, let's be very real. Even our iPhones ask every 2 seconds if you want this app to track you. A lot of apps are tracking you. They are harvesting our data. Let's be real. I mean, we get targeted ads all the time. So I don't think that is that crazy, but I don't think, yes, I agree. I don't want to just give up my data for free. But yeah, those are some preliminary findings. So I think as more like investigations and more regulations come up, it's going to create more enforcement on these companies, and more than likely the companies themselves are maybe going to have to abide by some of the government's regulations, or maybe they do have to eventually report. I do think eventually they're going to have to get to that phase where they do report, because I can see the pressure from the US government being like, you have to report. We need to know how much debt people have so we know what we can give them in terms of their limits in life and all that type of stuff. But I think we're going to see these companies implement some kind of bureau or some kind of reporting system or something. Right now, they're sticking and holding firm to the fact that they will not. I truly, truly commend them for that. That is rare of an institution, but let's not be naive. They're making a profit. Do not be naive. As more people use the buy now, pay later system, who might be more delinquent in their debt there, as more people have been using it more. And if for the regular credit card and just the national debt in general is increasing, it would make sense, right? That if people are owing money on this path, more than likely owing money also on the buy now pay later system, but we don't know, right? Because they will not give those information up, which is like, hey, you're a real one. But at the same time, it's like, well, we don't know what you really owe. We don't know what the American people really owe at the end of the day. We just know that they more than likely owe a lot. You know, it's every day that companies help out the everyday people. In fact, I have a video right here which I talk about how luxury brands are actually banking on your debt. Don't forget to check that out. And until next time, bye.